Coordinate dinner next Tuesday. Confirmed at 7 p.m.
Welcome to Life in 2046. Today we're going to talk about how we're going to interface with the internet in 20 years. Let's start by talking about where we've come from. The first portable phones I had was actually installed in my car, such as the one shown here on the dashboard. It in fact was not like that at all, and it fit into the console between the front seats. Had a large box in the back seat and required its own antenna on the outside of the car. It worked at least 75% of the time. It made calls and it received calls, and that was it. The phone the gentleman is holding is what's commonly referred to as the brick. The brick was the first truly cellular phone. You would charge it, carry it around, make and receive phone calls at any time as long as it was charged and as long as you were within an area that was covered by your cellular service. This actually worked substantially better than the original car phones and provided a good quality service, though reception wasn't always great. While the previous cell phones were strictly that, phones, the information technology progressed into an area where the phones became more than just a telephone and allowed information transfer and some ability to search the internet. The two most famous is the Palm Pilot, the one on the left here. The Palm Pilot allowed you to keep certain information, such as your calendar, in your hand, updated electronically, and some sharing of that information. The BlackBerry, which is the one in the center front, the BlackBerry is a highly secure form that allowed data transfer of messaging as well as placing and receiving phone calls. The big benefit of the BlackBerry was security, as opposed to the messages sent via telephone. This allowed you to have a recorded message and to do it in a secure way. It was used widely on Wall Street, where security is a big issue to maintain their secrets, and throughout governments, which also have a security issue. Those devices were subsequently replaced by the modern technology that also does phone, but is much more than that. It's primarily an internet device. As someone said when this first came out, it's an okay phone, but it's a great internet device. What you see here are some of the current devices. First, the iPhone, the Apple product, and then two of the Android products, the Pixel, which is from Google, and the Galaxy, which is from Samsung. All of these devices, as you surely know, are capable of making and receiving phone calls, text messages, keeping a variety of personal information such as your calendar, and doing complete internet interaction, allowing them to function as miniature computers carried in your hand. It is a well-known fact that each one of these devices has substantially more computer power in it than was carried on the most technologically advanced space shuttle. Just because someone asked me, we will compare today's phone technology to the technology used to land men on the moon in the Apollo program. A simple thumbnail sketch of this approach would basically tell you that it's like comparing a tricycle to today's most modern sports car. A phone processor is approximately 100,000 times faster than the computer that guided Apollo 11. So much for where we've been and where we are. We're here to talk about where we're going. This rather complicated chart is an overall view of personal communication 20 years from now. They call it the area of ambient intelligence. In other words, the intelligence is all around us. We can interface with it in many different ways, and it can do all kinds of things that we can't do right now. The first one, AI orchestrator and digital proxy, basically means that this is how we will get things to happen, all kinds of things, not just interact with computers, but as we're shown here, proactive need anticipation. So it knows what you're thinking and what you need. If you tell it that you're going to go to the doctor, it might automatically update the doctor's information, set a reservation for you, and give you the information you need to get there. Autonomous coordination to tie together your schedules so that you can, for example, book a meeting in one city one day and it figures out how to get you to the next city, figures out where you're going to stay, what you're going to do, land as well as air travel, and it would coordinate without flight input or other input from the human. The second thing it's going to do is hardware dissolution. Instead of having specific information processing devices, devices that are otherwise useful will gather information much more biometrically. So you will have a choice between audio and gesture interfaces using either a lightweight eyewear, we'll talk about in a moment, or a earbud type piece to provide your interaction with the internet. Third, the Internet of Infrastructure will be a living mesh that will be basically a decentralized smart grid. Edge computing hubs will gather information into the overall computing hubs and pass this. So the processing will take place in many different areas as well as forwarding it to the large scale computing centers. Finally, the security paradox is necessary because all of this information will be flowing around. It has to be completely secure. Security will be with biometric identity authentication. So there will be no passwords to be stolen. The biometrics will tell who you are to the system and guarantee that only authorized people are getting to the information. You'll have the cognitive boundaries allowing you to turn it off whenever you want to. And that gives you defense against manipulation as well as over noisy communication feed. So, what does that look like to the average person? It means individual interaction with the internet will come through three different possibilities. One is intent based orchestration. You'll have a conversational dialogue with the internet. The personal AI orchestrator will determine your intent and then go out and do autonomous coordination to make things happy. You'll have spatial and contextual displays, which is earwear or eyewear that allows you to do eye tracking as well as use gestures to say what you want to do at any point in time. And then you'll have subvocal and early neural interfaces that can determine what's going on in your body and anticipate what you're thinking, what you may be searching for, what you may want to have happen, as well as give you feedback on your body's current status. Now let's take a look at how some of this will work in reality. You may now have a Google or Alexa device in your home. It allows you just to speak to it and get it to do things for you. This will continue to advance to the point that it can run your home or office very easily with much less need for sitting in front of computers or iPads or other such devices. You can do such things as ask what the weather is going to be tomorrow. Hey Google, what's the weather tomorrow?
Tomorrow in Austin, there will be light rain with a high of 81 and a low of 73.
That saves me the problem of looking it up, and I can do it at any point in time. This will be a main factor both within the home and the office environment. What is beginning to come on the market now is the interactive glasses. The glasses have the glass, which will allow you to see information just like you do on your screen. It also has an earpiece that can talk to you and a microphone that picks up what you're saying. Your interactions with through the glasses will appear to you to be three-dimensional in front of you, and it makes for a very easy interactive session.
Coordinate dinner next Tuesday. Confirmed at 7 p.m. Call an Uber to the curb. Message Sarah. Let's meet at 2 p.m. tomorrow to discuss the project.
Besides these very useful functions, it'll also allow you to ask information and have it just contextually figure out what you want to know.
What is that building? That is the First National Bank.
For various reasons, you may not always want to be wearing around these glasses, in which case there is a simpler answer. The earpiece that you see here has the capability of being an earpiece and telling you what the web is wanting to tell you, but it also has the microphone so that you can speak and get information in both directions. And it has a camera so that it can see what you're looking at and put a context to things when that is necessary. You can clearly see how these technological advances will make life much easier for you in the coming times. And it will be very easy for you to use without having to learn a lot of new protocols. You just tell it what you want and it does it. Thanks for watching Life in 2046. Be sure to like and particularly to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at life@2046@gmail.com.